Hey, so today we are going to do a little bit of yarn organization. You guys are amazing and you put me over 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube and I am so excited. I don't know if some of you had followed me years ago when I was doing a primarily crochet podcast, but I left for a couple years and I revamped my whole channel and had to kind of start, from somewhere in the middle. And so you have brought me back up and then some from where I was. I did post a video a while ago about my stash and I was doing like a de-stash, organizing. I wanted everything to fit into this dresser. I painted the dresser. I organized my little craft area here, which is in my like exercise room. And I stuffed as much yarn as I could into each drawer. So, it's the beginning of the year. I am kind of thinking about how I want to approach this year and how I want to approach my stash and how I want to use my yarn. I just need to feel like my yarn isn't trying to bust its way out of the drawers. I'm not going to do a no buy year. I will buy yarn this year. That's just a given. I'm going to. I've already joined a yarn subscription that's going to mail a skein of sock yarn monthly, so I know I'm at least going to get one skein of yarn every month. I know that when my birthday rolls around, I'm going to want to order another advent calendar for next year. I may order a sweater quantity of yarn here and there as I learn new things and attempt to knit new sweaters. So new yarn is coming. I just have to make room for it in these drawers. I had a little heart-to-heart with myself and I said, Nicole, you need to do something about this because I decided to part ways with my acrylic yarn because even though I do have sensitive skin and I tend to itch with really rustic wools, I do not knit with primarily 100% acrylic yarn unless I'm doing a baby blanket. But the last baby blanket that I knit was with a specific yarn weight, and a lot of the acrylic yarn that I have is DK weight, and I just haven't had the opportunity to use it. So I want to make sure that I'm using what I have. So I was kind of sad because, it's all on the floor down here. Whoa, I just fell off my chair. A lot of it is still, new. It has not been opened. So I have to find someone who would really appreciate it. My daughter is one. She loves to crochet, and so this is the perfect crochet yarn for someone who's learning to crochet. My niece is also crocheting and she's fairly new to it. I'm gonna see if they might want some of these neutrals. I have a lot of blacks, a lot of whites, creams, browns, so I know my daughter will like those and possibly my niece. So I'm gonna try to give them the majority of the acrylic yarn that I have. I am keeping the worsted weight acrylic yarn that I own for baby blankets, and they are neutral in color. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. Come on. So right now this is the top drawer, and I do have a lot of this Knit Picks palette yarn, which I was kind of in between, like should I keep it, should I let it go? But I think what I'm going to do is it's 100%, what's it called, Peruvian Highland wool. So I think it might be really good for like fingerless mitts, and that's something that I wanted to work on this year, was a pair of those. So I think I'm going to hold on to it, although I don't know that I'm going to keep all of these colors. I think I might not keep the blue. What's back here? Oh, that's green. I'll keep green. Green's one of my faves. So I don't know. I might just take this out now. There's gray. This is like a duck egg blue, I guess you could call it. So actually I think I'll get rid of that too. And then that, somebody might enjoy that, darker blue with the lighter blue. So I may gift that to someone. So I have green, gray, this, I don't know what color you would call that, like garnet color, a brown, a khaki green, and I think that's good. So I can figure out some kind of fingerless mitts to work out of those. So I'm keeping those. These are all I found some thrift store finds I showed in my last yarn stash update that I'm keeping. And these are all non-sock yarns, so they're either 100% merino wool or they have some cashmere in them. So this is leftover from my weekender sweater, so I think I'm going to get rid of that too. So the rest of this I'm going to keep, and I do have some room in the back, so that's what I want, some extra space. I don't want things to be really crowded in here. Okay, so that's the top drawer, and it's probably just going to stay as is. If I end up not making those fingerless gloves and I can't figure out a use for this yarn because it has been sitting in here for probably a good year, then I'm going to destash it. The second drawer is all of my sock yarn, and I am not getting rid of any of it. So we're going to go through and we're going to count how many 100-gram skeins I own so that I can work through them this year. I can make a hat out of this, a hat out of this. I have some fuzzy, furry pom-poms that I can put on a hat. This is worsted weight Wool Ease from Lion Brand. I definitely can make a hat out of this and along with these scraps. So I'm holding on to this. This yarn is the acrylic yarn that I'm keeping, the worsted weight acrylic yarn that I'm keeping for baby blankets. And this was the beginnings of a little bunny, amigurumi bunny that I'm making. So I'm going to hold on to that because when those baby showers come up, I like to have these staples in my stash so that I can just work something up really quick. So those are staying. These are all my minis and my scraps and leftovers. So holding on to those because I don't want to waste them. I want to use them. So these are staying here. This also, I will be telling you more about this skein later. And that's my granny stripe blanket. And then all the minis for that are in bags underneath. So that's all staying. And then this yarn is my sweater quantity drawer. This I'm working on that Monday Junior sweater for my son. So that's the yarn for that. This is what's left. I still have one sleeve to go in my Felix pullover, which I'm going to talk about in another video. This is yarn for a spring summer tank top that I haven't started yet. This is Aran weight yarn for another Felix pullover. This is DK weight yarn for either a Monday sweater or a no frill sweater. This is the Bear Hawthorne yarn. I only have 2 skeins of this left for my cozy comfort throw, so I am moving right along with that. And this is a sweater quantity of Knit Picks Comfy to make a sweater for my daughter. So as you see, I got rid of a lot of acrylic yarn. The fact that I have a whole empty drawer on the bottom, to me, is miraculous. My plan is for that empty drawer throughout the year as I knit socks or I knit accessories or things that I know that I'm going to want to gift around the holidays, I'm just going to put them in that drawer. I don't remember who I was watching, but they said that they just throughout the year will knit things and throw them in a drawer together, and then when the situation arises where they want to gift something to someone, they just open their drawer and they choose something. I think that is just genius. So I would like to do the same. In that drawer, I'm going to put socks that I knit, especially socks because I gift those a lot at the holiday time. So I'm just going to knit them and put them in there, and then when I get close to the holidays, I'll look through there to see who I want to gift it to. I'm lucky in that 5 people that I knit socks for wear the same size. So that makes it kind of easy. I can just knit on the same size needles, the same row count, the same number of stitches, and just put them in the drawer. I'm definitely someone who's okay with having a stash because I don't shop for yarn a lot. There are certain times of the year that I shop for yarn. Christmas time, my birthday, every once in a while I will subscribe to either like Mini Skeins or Sock Yarn Club. That's kind of it. I don't often go to a local yarn shop and just pick up things here and there. On my days off from work, I don't really like to leave the house. So I prefer to have a stash so that I get so that if I get in the mood to knit something, I can just go to my dresser and look through my yarns and see what inspires me and grab from there. I don't want so much yarn that I'll never knit through it in my lifetime. Like all this acrylic yarn. There was a time when I was primarily crocheting that's all I used. All I used was DK weight 100% acrylic yarn. And I knit so many blankets, and that's just what I did. And so that's why I have all that yarn. But I'm in a different season now where I'm not crocheting those blankets anymore. And it's not to say that I never will. I may, but I don't want it to sit for years and years in my stash when someone else could be using it. I know my daughter likes to crochet. I know my niece likes to crochet. I know there are other people who could use this yarn and it won't just sit in there. This is all my sock yarn. I have several, I have a whole basket full of hand-dyed yarn, and then I have some Patons Kroy and some Knit Picks yarn. I have 600 grams total of Patons Kroy and Knit Picks. I have one 100-gram skein of self-striping yarn. I have 2,300 grams of hand-dyed sock yarn. That is a total of 3,000, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah, 3,000 grams of sock yarn. If I used one 100-gram skein or one pair of socks, I could make 30 pairs of socks with this. However, we all know that you probably could get 2 pairs of socks out of one 100-gram skein. I have enough yarn here to make 60 pairs of socks. You guys, I struggle to make 10 pairs of socks in a year. This is what I am saying that I would like to do this year. I would like to knit at least 12 pairs of socks. That's 1 pair of socks a month. I have enough sock yarn here to potentially knit socks for 3 years. I did already share with you that I subscribed to a sock yarn club. I will be getting 1 skein of sock yarn a month. So that's 12 more on top of this. I just want to say thank you so much for this milestone here on YouTube, and I wanted to say thank you by giving you something. So this, I did not count this in my yarn stash because I already had set it aside for one of you, and this is a skein of hand-dyed yarn by Loco. It is in the colorway Emerald Fields. And I made a little pine tree stitch marker for the pine cottage, so I will be sending that to a lucky winner as well. And I'm also going to wind up 20 grams of this ochre colorway that's also by Loco, and this was one of the colors in my 3-color cashmere cowl that I knit last year, I believe. And I just thought that it complemented this sock yarn really nicely. So I'm going to wind it up into a 20-gram mini, and so you will get this sock set along with this little progress keeper. I hope that you love it. In order to be eligible for the prize, you need to be a subscriber, you need to like this video, and you need to leave a comment below. I will do a random comment picker generator thing, and I will choose a winner. So I will announce the winner in our regular podcast at the end of January. Whoever is the winner will just send me an email with their mailing information, and I will mail this out to you right away. I hope you like this, and I hope that you will come back and visit me. If you are new here, please feel free to enter the giveaway as well. Thank you again for all your support, for watching me, for engaging in the comment section. I don't have friends who knit, so this is why I do this. I'm nothing special. I'm not a designer. I'm not a yarn dyer. I'm just a knitter, and I just like to be on here to share what I knit and to chat about it with people like you. I will see you next time.